Hello, YouTubes. Oh, I'm just kidding with you guys. I got my old Funkin here I made last summertime. I was kind of seeing it up on the shelf, looking kind of lonely. I thought, you know what? It's time to give this guy a brother. He's basically just a Michael. I got Michael's $7-8, something like that. I cut him up. His lights are in the bottom. I got him glued to the roof so I can just pop the batteries in and change his little program by hitting the button. So when he's on the ground, you don't see him. But he's got this kind of eerie greenish color, so I call him my Ghost Light Jack. Well, I've got another Funkin that I bought last year. I've been kicking around for a while. This is another $8 Michael's Funkin or Hobby Lobby or something. I can't remember where I got them. But I thought, you know what? Ghost Light needs a brother, so I'm going to build this guy. And I already went ahead and kind of traced out my face. You can see I really wasn't able to commit. So I want to go ahead and build this guy and get him roughed in today. But I don't want to just carve out a pumpkin. I want to kind of sculpt a pumpkin. I want to give him a different face than his brother. So let's put him on the table. And let's get started. Let's start chopping a hole in this guy. Make him a jack-o'-lantern. Alrighty, so I want to go ahead and I want to carve his face first. And then after we get him carved and sanded down and ready, I'm going to break out the magic sculpt on him. This is just air dry clay. You put two parts together, you mix it up, and then you can actually sculpt with it. I thought about using, paper mache or fiberglass. Body filler dries too fast. Fiberglass dries too fast. This guy is actually paper mache and cotton balls and then ping pong ball eyes. And just a little light set, tucked up in his roof, hot glued. This guy, I want to try and use the magic sculpt. I think that'd be different. I've never seen anybody do anything like it. So I figure let's go ahead and cut a hole in this guy first. I want this guy to be a big, gnarly teeth kind of pumpkin. I've got him at an angle where this guy's face is more towards the front of the pumpkin. I'm using the narrow side because I want him to have that kind of leaning forward kind of look. So I got a little paddle bit. Figure I want to blow through his eyes first, start making some holes. And I'm going to use one of them cheesy pumpkin kits that I bought last year for $10 to see if this thing's actually carve foam pumpkins. That was easy. Okay, we got blast the little eye. I'm going to have two different size eyes. Like I said, I really like asymmetrical stuff. It just looks more creepy. Blast some holes in them. Missed that guy? There we go. Get in there. More. All right. Good enough. All right. Like I said, this is one of them Pumpkin Master carving kits they had at Lowe's. They had at Joann's, Michael's, whatever. I got it for $5. I'm just curious if this stuff actually works. Hey, look at that. That's not too bad. So that's the big chopper blade. Then they got a little small fine one. Where did I throw that guy at? And we can use that. There he is. All right. And here's this little tiny fine little blade guy. So he must be for like doing teeth or small details. Yeah, he blows right through. All right, cool. That's not too bad. You got your big hogging bit. And you got your little tiny, little fine detail bit. So I'm going to go ahead and chop all this out. And I'll come back and I'll show you what this face is going to look like. All right, so you got them all cut out. I actually just used a little bitty guy. I really didn't even touch the big hog out bit. And then I went back with just a little regular rasp. And I kind of filed back the edges a little bit. Just to kind of smooth them out. Round off my holes. So I got one big eye, one little eye, one big old mouth. And we're going to use a separate pumpkin to fill in this lower jaw. We'll do that in a little bit. But first, what I always do with my pumpkins, or Funkins, is I always sand them. I'm going to be putting this epoxy sculpt clay on there. And that stuff really wants to slide around on a smooth surface. And as a painter, I don't paint on anything smooth, so I always like to go back and just take some fresh 80 grit. And where all your natural lines are in your Funkin, I like to deepen those. And 80 grit cuts right down to that foam and takes that orange skin off. And then where your teeth are at, if you want to sand in between your teeth, to have those natural little gaps and buildups. Big old gaping mouth. We'll just dig down right there. You could use a Dremel or something if you wanted to make it go faster. That's not a problem. But for me, I like 80 grit. So I'm basically going to sand this whole guy's face down. get them ready to start doing some epoxy sculpt on, and then we got to start getting our lower jaw made. So I'm going to go ahead and sand this guy down, and then I'll show you what he looks like when we come back. So far, so good. Alrighty, we're getting there. Kind of just sanding out the grooves, sanding his face down, making it rough so that the epoxy clay will stick to it. Smoothing his teeth out a little bit, shaving them down, but he's coming along. I'm going to keep going on him, and we'll come back and check on him in a couple of minutes. Alrighty, I got him sanded down. I'm pretty happy with him. I like his eyes, got him shaved back a little bit. This is just all 80 grit by hand. I didn't machine anything. I think we're okay to go ahead and start putting some clay on. Like I said, this is Magic Sculpt air dry clay. It takes about 24 hours to fully harden. That's what it looks like. You got to take equal parts A, equal parts B. So I usually just kind of tear off a hunk. A little more than that. Something like about that much. I try and tear off an equal hunk of this side. If you're doing big layers, I usually use a little mixing cup and stuff it in there. That helps if you're trying to spread this over a big area, but since we're just doing small details, I think it'll be okay. That's probably still a bit too big. All right, I'm pretty good with that. A little bit of water helps this stuff go a long way. I'll put the lids back on. When you're mixing this stuff. So generally I like to just dip in, and then I just combine them together, mash the hell out of them until you don't see any more veining in them. And I'll get this mixed up. I'll get this all ready to go and rolled out, and we'll start putting some details on our pumpkin face. All right, so our clay is a pretty good consistency. I don't see any more lines or anything in it. Dip in a little bit. And then you basically just smash it on where you want to use it. Stretch this out a little bit, make a little snake here. Sometimes this stuff is hard to bite in. That's why, it works so much easier if you just sand everything down with 80 grit. I'll just kind of tuck it under that eyelid a little bit. And the great stuff about this is that it smooths out with water. So that's a super big help. So just kind of get that in there and smooth it into place. Just kind of smash it into place first before you really want to start shaping it. Just let it bite in. Water. I want kind of a fairly big raised eyebrow on this guy. Kind of tuck it in there. Pull it forward. Water helps smooth it out for sure. Okay, I'm getting there. And you just want to smash it back into that pumpkin so it looks like a heavy brow ridge. So it can be a little finicky at first, but the water definitely helps. There's probably too much clay on there. Take a little bit off. Here. Okay. All right. Some of my shapers. Just want to kind of shape that in. All right, get down this crack. Just dip right in the water. Push it right up to the edge. I want a heavy, heavy brow on this thing. I think I'm going to go ahead and fill that crack because it's weak. So I'm going to roughen this eyebrow. I'm going to fill this crack in a little bit, and then I'll show what we can do with this Magic Sculpt clay. All right, so I got one eye kind of roughed in. I find that this dollar store makeup brush, I'm not really sure what it is or what it does, but it works pretty damn good for polymer clay. So I just kind of smooth it out, use my fingers to kind of run these little eyebrows back into the ridges, then just kind of smooth it out. Take my little color shaper to get the little cracks down in there. And then I'll just keep smoothing this out. Then I'm going to jump over and get the other eye roughed in. Alrighty, we're getting there. Got the eyes kind of formed out a little bit. Got that heavy brow on there. Getting ready to mix up a little bit more and go back at them eyes again. All right, pretty heavy with this brow ridge. I want to start bulking out some of these teeth a little bit, make them stick out a little bit further than they are. And the cool thing about this air dry clay is, man, once it's dry, it's rock hard. It'll help hold this foam. It'll help hold its shape so the Funkin won't want to cave in from sitting in the shed all winter time. Super strong stuff. And you just kind of pack in there as much as you want. Go down around the edges. Smooth it out. Cover this tooth. And you can basically just get by with a small skin on it. Smooth it out. So I said, water is your friend when using this stuff. Okay. Stick my finger behind that tooth. Kind of bring it down and shape it. Alright, again, I'll use that makeup brush. I don't know what the hell this does, but it does a great job of smoothing everything. And it kind of blends everything in, so that's pretty cool. And I want to get a shaper. This little guy will work. Kind of pack that tooth up in there. Let's see. This one. Okay. So I'm going to pack it up in there. I'm trying to shove it down those ridges to make it look like this tooth naturally formed out of those little ridges in the pumpkin, these little guys. And then you can always sand it when you're done because this stuff will dry in 24 hours. So it's just clay. You can sand it down. You can go ahead and put more on top. So you kind of start getting your details in there. I mean, you could actually make actual teeth if you wanted. So there's a bunch of different ways to do it. Everything's kind of a personal preference. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I'm not sure if I'm going to blend them or I'm going to leave them. But it don't take much. Just stick your thumb in there, make a little gum print. All right, I'm going to mess with these teeth some more and then figure out if I'm going to do a little lip or a gum or what. I don't know yet. I'll figure it out. Alrighty, so got his lower jaw done, or his upper jaw done. I just went ahead and made some little ridges, give him a little fake gum line, brushed them out with some water to smooth them out. I'm going to use one of my fiberglass stems from my pumpkin tutorial, or my fiberglass stem pumpkin tutorial that was a while back. I'm going to use this guy, and for now I'm just going to jam it in there. That's pretty cool. I don't know, maybe we should go the other way. I don't know. Like that. And I got this last little bit of clay, so I'm going to go ahead and clay in the whole stem, and then we're going to make a lower jaw for this guy. All right, we got a stem on this guy. He's kind of roughed in. I'm pretty happy with him. Got his teeth kind of done. He's starting to tack up now. We got to find a lower jaw, because like I said, I want him to have a big, massive underbite. So we're going to use a whole separate Funkin for that. This guy is going to be our lower jaw. So we've got to separate this guy. Let me grab my tool, and we'll go outside and separate him. All right, I got my tool. This is what you get when you come screwing around my house. You get Ed upside the head. Ed is a nice, beautiful hickory axe handle. So we need us a nice, good section of this pumpkin. So here we go. Come on, Ed, give me pumpkins. Ooh. Not too shabby. Probably need a smaller piece though. We get one more. All right, Ed, come on. We need a jaw. Oh, look at that. All right. This will be our lower jaw. Now we're in business. All right, got our pieces. I think last step we're going to do today is I've got a couple of teeth I'm going to use for the eyeballs. Some Michael J. Lasseter's teeth. I'll get you guys a link. I'm going to put one up in there after this clay hardens up, and I'll shave them down to fit. So those will be our little eye slits. And I think today, last I want to do is foam in this lower jaw. So I've got enough foam. Throw some screws in it. And that way this guy will have a big old massive underbite. So, alright. Let me, okay. How am I going to do this without hurting it? Alright. I'll throw some foam. I'm going to stretch this thing, lay it on its back, and I'll put it on a blanket and cradle it and get the screws in it. Alrighty, I got that lower jaw foamed into place off the piece of the blue pumpkin. I think what I'll do next time is I'm going to get his eyes put in. I'm going to get all this sanded down, get this shaved down so his lower jaw is sticking out. He's got that nasty underbite like I like. And this will be my Grimjaw Jack-o'-lantern. So I'll call him Grimjaw Jack, and then I got my Ghostlight Jack. So next time you guys see him, hopefully I'll have the clay done and we'll be ready to throw some paint on him. And I'm thinking of a kind of a paint scheme now. Maybe blacklight, I don't know. If you guys got any ideas, hit me in the comments, let me know. I've got a green and white one. I'm going to go the opposite direction, whatever that's going to be to finish this guy. So, got any ideas? Let me know. Alright guys, that's it. Let me know if you got a color scheme for this guy. Thanks for coming and funking around me today. Had a blast. You guys get a chance, go see my brothers in a trio of tarot, Vic Springsteen, and the Weird Kid Show channel. We're doing daily projects and vlogs so we get through this virus BS with everybody. So, we're just having fun during quarantine, man. Can't hold us down. Halloween always goes on. So, hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you soon. Thanks so much for watching.